Hi, my name is Heidi Green, and this is my educational philosophy. I recently returned to teaching after a break to be a full time homemaker, and I was curious to see how my current philosophy differed from the one that I wrote almost 25 years ago. So, before I took my old portfolio out of storage, I worked on formulating my current thoughts regarding teaching, and my philosophy is here on this slide. As it turns out, I believe almost exactly the same as I did when I was younger, with the exception that I have a lot more wisdom and experience behind my philosophy than I did in my 20s. And the following slides will detail my thoughts about teaching. First of all, I feel that your classroom is a place that kids should want to be. Simply put, if your students don't want to be at school, specifically because of the environment in your room, then learning is going to be an uphill battle. I want my classroom to have a proactive classroom management with clear procedures. This ties in perfectly to the previous slide, but it implies more action to create the expectation. John Hattie ranks collective teacher efficacy as the #1 positive influence on student learning. Teachers, administrators, students, and parents, we are all a team in the education process, and good communication is the key to working together effectively. I have got 4 kids, and they all have unique and sometimes rather difficult challenges. Without going into personal details, I'll just say that this quote is my favorite of all the ones in this presentation. My experience raising children has helped me to truly see the genius in everyone. So I went through cancer treatments about 5 years ago, and the details of my kids' schooling during that time was a blur, in part because the teachers were understanding when my kids forgot their homework or didn't do an assignment on time. My family struggles that year were very visible. However, as teachers, we need to keep in mind that some of our student struggles are hidden, and some of those struggles are scary. So we just need to keep that in mind and always have kindness at the forefront for our students. So I mentioned John Hattie in the previous slide. His studies were not around when I was in college, so finding this relatively new information was so much fun for me. In addition, I love reading educational books and blogs. I'm really enjoying taking these online courses. I like conferences, and I really enjoy talking with other teachers regarding what has worked for them. So technology, this is something that I am working at diligently before I transition from a part-time teacher, which I am right now, to a full-time position. I really want to feel comfortable with the technology so that it doesn't pull focus from students. I want to make sure that I know what I'm doing before I get in full-time. And then finally, I truly love to learn. I love trying new things, listening to podcasts, or discovering new treasured books. That love of learning is one of the main reasons that I'm stepping back into teaching after over 20 years of being a homemaking. I was ready to learn a new challenge, and I hopefully want to inspire others to find their love of learning as well. Okay, so now here is a scan of my statement from 1997. And again, I was completely surprised at how similar these documents are. The only glaring differences are that #1, I talked about assessment, which is missing from my current document, and #2, which is appropriate for this class, my philosophy regarding the implementation of technology isn't in this old philosophy statement. So I'm grateful that I'm learning so much so that I can incorporate it in there. So here are the two philosophies side by side. I did want to mention that as a faculty, we recently read Bold School. It's a book about blended learning, a lot of the things that we're learning in this class as well. And in that book, it cautions not to throw out the tried and true philosophies or strategies of the past, because some of it will stand the test of time. And I was really excited and encouraged when I read both of these documents, especially because I really did do this one without looking at my old one, and it excites me. I think these documents are definitely a testament of that thought. So having said that, thank you so much, and have a great night.